see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Biz Now, because your business matters.
Yeah, you are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you live from Burner Cigar Studio, home of fine premium cigars and exceptional cigar smokers. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village and also in Denver on Highway 16. You are listening to Local Biz Now, where we hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do here at News Talk WSIC, 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone, and your business matters. Now, you know, everybody wants to complain and argue and pick on the fact that I say this is the #1 live business show in North Carolina. Let me prove it to you. We've been doing this show going on 12 years. We have over 930 small business owners and community leaders that we have interviewed. We have over 745 videos on my YouTube channel. Go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube, and please subscribe to that. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tons of really good information. All we do is talk to small business owners. And if you're in an industry or have some interest, I'm almost positive we have interviewed somebody in your industry, and they've given and shared some information and some advice. So I suggest you go there and check that out. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube, and subscribe. We would appreciate that as well. Last week, I had talked about small business people, the challenges they were having, the uncertainty they were having when it comes to these tariffs. And I want to remind small business people, you really are the one thing large companies are afraid of. You have the edge, which is you personally. There's something you do that is extraordinary, which is why you started your small business to begin with. Take advantage of that. Use that skill. Take that and expand on that. And, you know, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Don't increase your prices. Increase your client base. This uncertain time is a perfect time to go out and find new clients, new lead generation sources. Don't just jump and raise prices because you're afraid of what the future might look like. Again, that's my take on this, and you certainly can go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker and check out all of the videos. Plus, I had a long talk on the whole tariff stuff last week. If you want to go there, you can see that again. Now, like every show, we have a co-host every month, and this month is no exception. This month we have Tamara Rabenold. Rabenold.
Yes.
Is the D silent?
There's the D at the end.
Yes.
I guess a little bit. Yes.
A little.
Yeah, Rabenold. It's not
Do you
really.
say nod? Rabenold.
It's okay. It's German.
Yeah, I know. We were getting to that because, first of all, you try and get me. I did not practice German this week.
Okay, you had an off week since I wasn't here.
That's right.
Last week
I
too.
practiced French. So what I want to say is Tamara is the CEO and owner of Vodra International.
Way to go,
Licensed private investigator, partnering with brands and legal teams to protect your intellectual property. See how I got the Vodra right? I practiced my
Nailed
French.
It.
I
nailed
didn't
it.
practice my German. You understand?
You can blame my husband for that.
You make this impossible for me to give you a good intro. You understand that, don't you?
Okay, Joe.
You deserve a good intro. I just can't give it to you.
You did great. You did great.
So, Vodra International, you've got a great website. Thank you so much for being here this week, this month. It's been great.
I have enjoyed every moment. Really appreciate it.
So remind everybody what private investigators that focus on intellectual property do.
So we are brand specialists, or you could call us counterfeit investigators. We specialize in protecting our clients' intellectual property. So that is their trademarks, their trade dress, copyrights, patents, and conducting investigations around that, whether it's an Amazon seller, a Walmart seller, any platform, social media, trademark use. We conduct investigations around what you're trying to find out about the bad guy to then build intelligence and determine what you need to do to try to address the issue.
And so this is like your third week being here, right?
Yes.
I didn't know that I had royalty here because it wasn't until I went to your LinkedIn that I realized you are the chairperson on North Carolina Department of Public Safety Commission. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So I'm currently the chair of the North Carolina Private Protection Services Board, which is an occupational board that sits under the Department of Public Safety. I was appointed to that position. Well, I was appointed to the board. It's a 14-member board that oversees the regulation, training, and education for investigators and security professionals in our state. And there are a number of licenses that we regulate.
You're going to be very good at that.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
It fits you really well.
Thank you. Well, and I was very fortunate to be appointed to and this was like an election, it happens every year, to the chair position, and it was
so
the
I'm
first
not the
time.
only one that thought you'd be really good at it, right?
Well, and it's the first time, and I'm in my second year of being chair, and it was the first time in the 50-year history of the board that there ever was a female chair.
Yeah, you took that away from me. That was the next thing I was going to mention because I saw that on your LinkedIn. Yeah. So. I'm sure you're exceptional at that. What I know of you, it's a really good fit, and they got an excellent chairperson.
Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, I love being able to serve the investigative and security industry in that way, and just looking for ways to always raise the bar for our state and for the citizens of North Carolina.
So do you do much work with small businesses, or most of your business larger companies?
It is more of the larger companies, but we support small businesses as well, especially when they're starting out, even providing them resources and guidance to point them in the right direction. I actually have someone that I'm referring to an attorney to help with their trademark registration because they realize it's time to protect their intellectual property and what they're doing in their business. And so I'm always glad to be a resource to kind of connect people if it's not an investigation they need, but the world of IP, intellectual property, and like everything it entails can be really overwhelming. So while we're not attorneys, we can advise based on our experience as investigators and having worked thousands and thousands of cases over the last 20 plus years on, okay, here's some things to think about, and here's, maybe kind of help them in the right direction if it's not us that they need in that moment.
And I think you really hit on it, that really is an important piece of what's happening in modern day business, right, that we talk about, which really, and we get back, we're going to talk about it. It really is, somebody needs to investigate who we're getting ready to do business with.
Yes.
And it didn't used to be that way. You used to be able to look you in the eye, shake your hand, and and I can figure you out. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, sounds good.
You aren't listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Rabenold, and if it's Monday afternoon, your business matters. We'll be right back. Ooh, almost missed that one.
We were having too much fun.
See, when I got started doing this, I can't believe I'm saying 12 years ago, but 12 years ago, the radio board operator controlled commercials. So I could tell them I'm ready for a commercial, right? And it was like complete control, right? You know what I mean? Like I loved it. It was great. Or if a conversation was getting stale or my mind wasn't thinking about something, you know what I mean? I could just, go to break.
Is the AC
and
on?
now Joe's in
I
charge.
left it on. I wasn't hearing it.
Oh, okay.
Now, he was a child back then, 12 years ago.
You. Me?
Yeah.
High school.
What year did you graduate?
2015.
Okay.
10 years ago.
Oh my gosh, your reunion's coming up.
I'm not going.
Oh,
That's when you realize you started getting old, when those reunions started to pop up. I went to my 40th. Okay. Went to my 40th high school reunion. It was like it was still in high school. It was absolutely amazing that all my friends were still there. We were still same jokes, same. It's like nothing had changed.
Wow. I mean, well, and I'll hit 30 in a couple years.
Oh, it's coming.
I know.
It's coming.
We still have reunions. I don't know who's in charge of
My
that.
friends
It's
had to
not me.
beg me to go. But they just had to.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Well, I find that the men are the last reunion I went to, I think was at the 10-year mark. And I could recognize the women, but it was the men that looked so different because
Right.
they'd lost hair, they grew facial hair, they
Right.
gained weight, they lost weight.
Right.
The women were a lot easier to be like, oh yeah. But it was the men I had a harder time being like, who the heck is that?
30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Hey, Joe, I'm getting a little feedback on this, just so you know. Okay. Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live radio show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. And I am here with Tamara. She is CEO and owner of Vodra International. It is a licensed private investigator partnering with brands and legal teams to protect intellectual property. We were just talking about that, Tamara. You actually do more than the intellectual property. I got a hard time getting that one out of my mouth. So talk about some of the other things that you actually do.
Well, I mean, our heart, our soul, our core is intellectual property investigations, but there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, that is, identifying a new business partner.
Right.
That's determining, who the seller is online that you're considering buying from or going into business with. It's, advising or giving suggestions to clients if they're thinking about, okay, maybe it's time to protect my business, protect my ideas, the name of my company, my logo that I'm using, so that others can't copy it. When you have this great idea and you go global, which everybody can be global today with the way the market is.
Right.
Making sure that your ideas are protected.
So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and that it's just a new world out there. And I joked and said, I used to be able to shake your hand, look you in the eye, and say, "Yeah, you're good," or "Nah, I don't like them." And nowadays, you just can't do that because it might be a multi-state operation that you're trying to review. And you guys have these online tools and stuff that you can use that I just can't Google somebody and get that same information.
Well, the big thing about the web is that there is the truth on there, but there's a lot of fake news. So if you're doing a Google search, you're getting the truth and the lies for anybody that you look up. So the advantage of our resources is that we have closed source databases that I can get your social security number, your date of birth. I can make sure that who I'm looking for is truly, the individual or business that is of interest versus all the other garbage that's out there that you have to filter through. So we can be more efficient in that way because we have the open source, which is what's just out there and publicly searchable, as well as the closed source, which is the databases that we pay for and that we're able to access because we are licensed investigators with our credentials.
And I want people to hear that because that really is important nowadays. Before you do something, contact a private investigator and let them do that research.
Or at least before you do something big. I mean, you can certainly kind of figure things out, even sites like Been Verified. There's a number of ones that you could do a little quick background check, criminal record check on somebody.
Right.
So, I mean, those are low cost. Those are considered closed source because you do have to pay for those search results. So you're going to get a little bit better accuracy,
Right.
but then it's still, sometimes you have to filter through the crap to figure out like, okay,
And-
what do I really need to know?
But Tamara, and also the problem that I found is that I need you to interpret the information that I'm getting,
there's
because
that.
I might see it, but I don't really know how to interpret that information.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's certainly, especially when you have different business filings, different things are like, okay, wait a minute, what's important for me to really know? And it's really starting with your objectives.
Right.
Like, what are your questions? What are you trying to learn? And then like building around that, where you need to look and what kind of resources they may be. And that's when an investigator can certainly help.
Okay. Let's move on. You're
Okay.
not allowed to be co-host unless you go to the Google and you bring something. You always stretching the limit.
I did today.
So what are we going to talk about today?
So I just wanted to share, I had to. So Darren Hardy is a success mentor that I have now followed for a long time. I actually looked at, these are little Darren Daily planners or journals that he does sell. But this is my fourth one that I've filled with like his little nuggets of wisdom,
Right.
starting July 29th of 2021. So this is my fourth book.
I have not heard him say his name again.
Darren Hardy.
Okay.
And so he has over 20 years in success and business. I mean, he was a realtor. That's where he got his start. I mean, actually before that, he's an incredible mentor with lots of free advice and nuggets to share with business owners, leaders. And so a resource that he has is Darren Daily, and it's delivered to your inbox. It's a free subscription.
Right.
And so it's my little dose of inspiration every morning that I do as part of my morning bookend, and saying, okay, here's how I'm going to get set for the day. And so I have a couple to share with you because
Okay.
there's tons of them. And so the Darren Dailies get delivered every day, but then he also has Darren Daily on
Darren
demand.
Daryl's. I
Darren
like that.
Dailies,
Okay.
yeah.
And then the
He's very
Darren
sticky.
Dailies
He's got the
diary.
marketing,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. We gotta get with Julie. We gotta get him on the show. We gotta see
He
if we can
does
get him on.
not do interviews.
No.
No, he does not. He does have an in-person, like virtual event that's coming up actually next week called Business Masterclass.
Right.
That I am attending, and so I will see him on the screen live, but he
You
doesn't
tell
do this
him
kind of stuff.
we need to talk to tell him it won't be an interview, it'd just be a conversation.
I will pass that along. By the way, I'm way down here, so I don't even know if he'd hear me, but yeah, I have been inspired. I share his information with my team, and just so much. I have had so much growth over the past few years because of the kind of tips and tricks that I've learned from him.
Right.
So like one of them, and I know I gave Julie the link so she could share where the podcasts are for these recordings.
Okay.
This one was about your secret weapon against life's challenges. And what really I thought about was fantastic, especially with all these upcoming college graduates, with graduation right around the corner, and all these parents of college kids. This particular episode had a recording from Kara Lawson, who is the head coach, or at one point was the head coach of Duke's women's basketball team. And basically the message is like, you can't just look for things to get easier.
Right.
It's not going to get easier. Things are never going to get easier. You have to become a person that handles hard better.
Right.
And so that's what it's about. And
Handle
it's incredible.
hard better.
Yes. And that's the mental shift that has to occur, because if you keep waiting for things to get easier, you're going to be incredibly disappointed.
It's funny that you say that, because it's kind of the way I feel about this whole tariff situation. Everything is unclear and not at a point that you can understand it. It's the chaos that you should feel comfortable working within. Find a way to work through this.
Right.
So I love the statement.
Yeah. And so it's really like, and it's like, don't get discouraged, because it's supposed to be hard. And if you have a meaningful pursuit in your life, it's going to be tough.
And things just don't stay the same. I
Right.
mean,
constant change.
Okay, got
so
it. I like
that's
that
one
one.
that I really was excited to share. And this was great for me to hear, because I was like, yes, because I'm thinking.
And Julie just posted that on Facebook.
first,
Also, if somebody
awesome.
wants to click on that.
So the another one, I have three to share. This one is the algebra of success, fixing your formula. And so really it's like, as we go along as business owners, as entrepreneurs, even if you're working in a business, it's so easy to speed along and it's like, whoops, you just screwed something up, and like you're so busy to kind of like, downplay the effect of that failure that you move on to the next thing without doing something Darren calls a plan, do, and review. So you really get honest with yourself about what the hell just happened.
Right.
Let me really understand it, and spending the time to think it through so that you can really take what you learned from it and be introspective, so that then you can really like launch forward and use that failure for fuel.
So, Joe, just so you know, JoJo, she said hell, not me. So when FCC sends a $5,000 bill, you send it to her. Okay, just want to make sure we're clear on that. Okay.
I mean, try not to be any more profane. But like he talks about the algebra of success is wisdom equals experience times introspection. And this was a great reminder for me, because it's like, I don't think, I'm a tasker.
Right.
In my to-do lists.
Right.
Which he's got a lot to say about that too. Are those the right priorities? But you have to think it through if you're really going to like learn from it and gain what you can really like glean from that experience. You've got to think about it and kind of be like, okay.
You know, I tell that to Julie all the time, because, in our world, we kind of hurry up and wait, and all of a sudden we might have 20 things going on. And I tell that to Julie all the time. Listen, we're not busy. You just have to prioritize the list. Because, yes, we might have 200 things to do, but how much of them are really important? And now how much of them have to be done today? And how many of them have to be done in the morning? And when you do that, it gets a whole lot easier, right?
Absolutely.
And
yes,
you could do the same
prioritizing.
thing with your to-do list for life or whatever you want. Prioritizing is the key to that. I like that.
It absolutely is. And so the final one that I want to share is, it was called A Better Solution to Your Biggest Problems. And so this talks about our additive bias. Like if something's not working, you need more sales, something like you want to add something. You want to add more networking events. You want to add to your marketing spend. You want to add more channels. You want to post more. You want to do all this. And what the Darren teaches and what he talks about is really, it's when you subtract that that's where the money is. If you can think about, okay, because it's not all this noise. It's like, okay, what can you kind of break down into the most important elements? And before I get it's like, so where can you subtract things to make things better? And like I said, the example of you need more sales. So your compulsion may be to add more networking or prospecting efforts. And with these tariffs, you said, like, people are like, okay, raise prices, do whatever. But really, if you think about subtracting and eliminating the low probability endeavors and focus on like your time, attention, and creative capacity on those highest probability efforts, like selling more to the clients who already love you and who are already your advocates, and cultivating more referrals.
There's a whole book called the Pumpkin
fans.
Patch that talks about that. If you will focus more time and attention on good quality clients you've already got, you will find out you'll make more money.
Right. And even within those clients of that 80%, whoa, okay. And
You're
we're
good.
just
We
out
got
of time.
it. You are listening to Local Biz Now. We'll be right back where your business matters.
And this is so easy to want to constantly add things. Even like he talks about, and this is, even though, and I know this is just on Facebook at this point, but what I love about the kind of things he shares is like, okay, so that's where it can impact your business.
Right.
But what about as a parent? It's like people want to give their kids more time, but they don't give quality time. They give quantity, and it's not the same.
Julie broke it down and said, do what matters. So she's got all three. Julie's got all three of Darren's dares. Darren dares you to have a better life.
I said if we got close,
Darren
I was
Hardy.
going to wave you down.
I know.
When you get talking, I don't know why, it's hard to look at that
Yeah,
screen.
and I was better at it. I'm out of practice.
Comfortable there?
I'm good. Yeah.
You need this over here?
No, you can put your stuff there.
And to bring my props
You're good?
I'm good.
and my notes. Yeah, this is fine.
Actually, I think
So when we come back, we'll kind of end the
Okay.
conversation, and then I'll introduce Emma.
Okay, great. Because I can just make that one little point.
But Julie got it. She got it right here. Handle hard better. Plan, do, and review. Do what matters. She got it. She got
Nailed it, Julie.
Of course, I know Julie. She probably already listened to those podcasts when you sent them over earlier.
Well, and they're so short, like 5 to 7 minutes. So it doesn't take a lot of time to just I listen to them on repeat on the way here.
Emma, I got your list of stuff you had sent.
Oh, you don't have to use all of them.
I'm not going to. But I got it.
There's a lot of good questions.
It is some good. We might ask a couple of them. I always like for people to send me stuff just so I have it. But the whole part of this show is to talk with owners and let the conversation just go. That's why I try not to plan the conversation out. I can remember years ago when my partner Wayne Beidelman was doing this show with me. He would have pages of planned out questions, and he would get so frustrated when I would take the conversation in a different direction. We ready to go, JoJo?
Oh, we got some time.
You have another show after this?
No, this is going to be the last one.
The last one? In no man's land here. Like, where am I going?
Oh, I know. It is nice they have the sign on that tree. Like, keep
Oh,
going.
yeah, I saw that. I went. Saw that. No. Okay.
Julie does very well with the
The
directions.
direction. Yes.
Yeah, the first time coming here is
I don't follow direction really good, but when I saw her email here, there's direction included. I'm like, why would she give me direction? And I open it.
Like, good thing.
Joe, did you tell them we take a commercial break every 15 minutes? I don't think you did. You skipped that part today.
Did I tell you when the timer hits 0, that means we go to commercial?
Yes.
Y'all leave me hanging out to dry when I'm picking on Joe.
I mean, he's the guy that makes us.
You could have just gone longer.
He's the guy that makes us sound good. We have to-
Out and head out, go home, just ask somebody else.
Yeah, someone else's problem.
And the only way he does this, I got to bring him snacks in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he ain't coming. He's just not coming. I mean,
Look at that. Ooh. After Easter sale, he got into it.
he did. And he got all my black licorice jelly beans. I'll eat the whole bag of jelly beans, but I don't like the black ones.
Oh, no.
I don't
They're
mind
gross.
licorice, but black licorice in a jelly bean, it just don't work for me. So I ate all the bag,
30 seconds.
put them to the side, and I brought
You
them.
get in the back ones. That's what you get.
I don't even know if he likes licorice or not. I have no idea.
He doesn't care. He's like,
He got them, and he got the peeps.
Oh, everybody loves Peeps.
oh yeah.
10 seconds.
They have so many flavors now, too. All freaking funfetti flavored.
Confetti dipped in chocolate. Whoa. That'll make you go crazy. Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you from Burner Cigar Studio. We hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do here at News Talk 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone. This is a Local Biz Now, where your business matters. I am here with a exceptional young woman. Can I call you young? Yes. Yeah. And you've been here all month. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you so much. She is the owner of Vodra International, licensed private investigator, and they partner with brands and legal teams to protect intellectual property and a whole lot more. Tamara, thank you for being here.
Happy to be here, Joe. It's been fun.
So we were talking about what was the dude's name? I'm gonna get it. Hardy. What was his name?
Darren Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Julie put that stuff on Facebook. So
Awesome.
if you're close by, go to WSIC Facebook, and Julie's got those links on there. You want to end that up because he's
Yes.
just a very motivational person for you, isn't it?
Well, and I mean, success mentor. Like, he's done it. He's run businesses. He's built businesses. And so he shares his tips and wisdom. Also ran Success Magazine as publisher for a long time, bringing it from nothing back up to something. So has a lot of experience, has interviewed unbelievable people. I could get on a soapbox about him. My husband
Right.
sometimes jokes that he's my boyfriend. So because I'm
what
a
he
big,
doesn't know.
I'm a big fan. I've learned a lot from him. But the last thing I had mentioned about Darren Dailies, you can subscribe. It's free to your inbox. You have to keep in mind they expire in 72 hours because he's all about building successful habits and a better everyday mentality. And that's what he's giving you in these 5 to 7 minute little recordings that are literally just your golden nugget for the day to think on, to see like, okay, how can I use that? But the one that I had mentioned, just to wrap up, was a better solution to your biggest problems, and our tendency to add things when we have something going wrong as opposed to looking at subtracting. And the point to make is, like, for every problem you have or situation you want to improve, most often the answer is in what you can subtract, not add. And it may, like, if you first consider what could be subtracted, it may even just bring to the surface what you really need to prioritize, because you're like, okay,
I was
what
going to
is
say,
the key?
we're kind of back to prioritizing certain things.
What is the key, first principle of what I'm dealing with here?
Right.
And then figuring out a better way to address it.
Okay. And again, Julie's got those on WSIC Facebook page, so you can go there and turn into that. Now, let's move on. Are you ready to move on?
Yes, I am.
Back by popular demand. You did not meet her the first time she was on the show, obviously, but you two just been chatting it up. You two been getting along just fine.
We girls.
Yeah, that's women for you.
Emma Soy. Emma has been on the show before. She is the owner and founder of Gentle Shepherd Care. And Emma, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So when you walked in the door of this new studio, I didn't recognize you.
I noticed.
I must be getting I'm getting a dementia. It's coming to me because I did not.
She's got the place for you, Joe. She knows where to put you.
You got a bed for me. I'm getting a dementia because I did not, even when you sent me over some information by email, I did not remember we had met.
That's okay. It's all right.
It wasn't.
I have grace for you.
It wasn't until you said, Joe, remember when you told me that your neighbor went to the minimum security retirement community?
And you didn't want to go there.
That's right. Now I remember. So yes, I do remember. So Emma, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So refresh everybody's memory what Gentle Shepherd Care is all about.
Gentle Shepherd Care is all about caring for the elderly, for the older adults. Caring for older adults who wants to age gracefully with dignity wherever they call home, and to live as independently as long as possible. And that's my mission, and that's what we do.
And so when we first met, I had no idea what you were talking about. Mm-hmm. Since then, my mother has gone through 2 months in the hospital, and we're looking for a minimum security retirement community to put her in. And when you use certain words, it's not till you're going through it that you understand it.
Yes.
Like dignity. Mm-hmm. I hear that the first time, and I have no idea what you're talking about. But now when I think about my mother and the things somebody has to do for her are so personal and private, you do want that to be respectful, and that's where the dignity comes in. So
exactly.
I get it, but if you're not in it, you don't get it.
Yes, I got it. Yeah, well, definitely. Because doing something, I tell my caregivers all the time, what we do for people are so personal.
Yes.
The things that you do for them, nobody would if they can't do it for themselves,
That's right.
nobody would allow anybody else to do it for them. So it is a privilege to be able to get to do these kinds of things for people who've been through life.
Well, and like my mother, she's actually angry that somebody has to help her. It makes her mad. You
Of
know,
course.
And so when you use that word dignity, it's such a huge word and a really big challenge.
Do you know why she's upset? She's upset because she sees that she's losing something.
Right.
Whenever you're losing something, it's a grieving process. What is she losing? She sees that she's losing independence.
Right.
And so to the little things that she used to do, and now somebody have to do it for her. Who wants somebody to be holding your hands so you can walk so you don't fall?
That's right.
That's basic. And so when someone knows that, they become angry, everybody face it differently, right? But our goal is to be able to help you do it gracefully.
Yeah. It's funny. I've got two older brother, a younger brother, and a sister. And they were giving my mom some medicine, that sort of stuff. And she went just absolutely crazy. Looking at my older brother, called him a liar and no accountant. And my younger brother, said I can't trust you for nothing. Now you understand, they knew what was going on. They knew it was just because that is not my mother at all. Right. Yeah. She's always spoke highly of us, even when she knew it wasn't true. Right. Yeah. And so we laugh about, but my mother, when she heard that she had said those things, it really bothered her.
Of course.
So there really is this ability to control the uncontrollable.
Well, yeah.
And we as family members could not do it. We have to have a company like yours come in. Not only could we not do it, we don't want to and don't know how to do the things that are accurate. This is serious end of life stuff that we're talking about.
Well, one of the things that I do is family caregiver education, just because it sounds so easy until you start doing it and you see the hard parts. Because caregiving is an art. You need to know how to do it. It sounds very easy. What is it? Take care of somebody, help them with the feeding. The adults are adults, they're not children. So they've learned how to do these things. So when you as an adult, especially as children, you are a child of your mom, no matter how old you are.
Right.
And now she had taught you how to eat. Now you're feeding her.
Right.
She had taught you how to walk. Now you're walking her. So that's not easy to accept.
Right.
So those are the kind of education that we do for family caregivers. So they can, not because you don't know them, it's to remind you.
Right.
Remind you.
So it's such an important thing. And I did not know it until I went through it, and right in the middle of it with my mother. So thank you so much for all that you do. So kind of give me, we've only got about 30 seconds or so. Give me a kind of a concept of how are you reached? When is it that somebody's coming to you? At what point?
Unfortunately, people come to me in the middle of problems, when they have an issue, which is too late. They come to me when mom is in the hospital, when mom falls. My dream is that people will come to me before that, because it's so you reacting. At that point, you are reacting to care instead of responding to care.
I want them to hear that. Think about it now. If you've got an older family member, you need to make contact with Gentle Shepherd Care with Emma Soy. We'll be right back.
They always plan things. And so they would plan these things. Because the reason people are not responding to it is because nobody wants to plan for aging care.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you why it's so very, very helpful. If we can get them in on the front end, they're comfortable. So when they have a problem, they're comfortable with the person that's going to help them through it. And so instead of me just saying, now, Mom, she's going to help you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you're like, who is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if she knows this person that,
That's the
comes
plan.
by once a week or once a month or whatever, then she
Yeah.
gets comfortable.
Yeah.
And that is what people need to understand. Prep for what we know is coming. Sooner or later, you're going to need them, whether to find your keys or to help you get to the restroom, but you're going to need some help.
Look, I met him a year and a half ago. His mother, I don't know how.
That's right.
You're fine. You can keep talking.
We can talk about all that.
I don't know how old Mom is now.
84.
But a year and a half ago, Mom was 83.
Yep.
That was already too late for him to meet me. At that point, that conversation should be starting.
Right.
You don't want to be having this conversation with me when your mom needs it.
That's
you
right.
need to have this conversation with me when your mom do not need it yet, and she is good. She's okay. Things are, so she's making decisions. She's with you instead of waiting. At that point, now you're like crazy. But it's crazy. We got to find a place. And
That's right. You're exactly right.
yeah.
That loss of control. It just.
Well, and even for the family members, loss of control, because we don't. Yeah, you are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. And I am here with Gentle Shepherd Care, Emma Soy. Emma, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
So can you tell this is a completely different conversation than the first time we met?
I think so.
Like, I get it now. I get what you do now. Before, I didn't get it. Right?
I thought you did.
I thought I did too.
I failed.
Until.
Because I didn't explain it well.
No, I am quite sure the failure is always.
He's got a hard head.
In this
Let's
show, yeah.
just go ahead
That's
and
right.
admit
That's
it.
right. That's right. Tamara knows well, right? She's a good co-host. She officially knows there's a reason why there's co-hosts, right? My hard head would absolutely be a good qualification for that. So let's talk about some of the services that you have, so that people can think through some of it. I think we're going to have to kind of force feed the concept of. Let's think about what could happen, very similar to insurance.
Yes.
Because it's going to happen.
I wish I could get it into people to see the value of that. So that's my mission, to be able to speak out the value and educate
that
people.
is exactly the word I would have used, value. Because if me and my 4 brothers and sisters don't see the value, we're not calling you. Like,
No.
we have to believe there's real value in that.
Now, Joe, let me tell you something. I've been a nurse for very long time. So when I decided,
I'm sure older than Tamara been alive, but okay.
you didn't say him.
I know.
Well, she's the youngest one in the group. I had to pick the young one.
So when I started my home care company, I started with home care to think, well, I'm going to help older adults with their basic needs, which is what a average person will call me for. I need someone to help my mom with her activity of daily living. What does that mean? Clean, cook, like put her clothes on, take a shower so she doesn't fall, make sure that she eats, she takes her medicine, she's safe. Things like that.
And I can go to work and
I can
go
go
on
to
with
work,
my day.
make sure that, she's comfortable. That's all basically families think about.
Right.
So when I started my home care company, that's where I started too. But what I discovered was that most older adults, not only they aging with chronic diseases, they aging with something chronic. What is chronic? Something for like they're going to live with. And, in the medical field, we give them pills to manage them. But that we don't get to the root of the issue.
Right.
So then we watch our older adults keep declining. So I find myself in the business of dying business, so that clients come to me knowing very well in the next 1 year or two, they actually just dying. They just decline. So I discovered, oh, wow, can we do it? There was a gap. There are things that older adults need that we need to do for them as they age, so we can keep them independently as long as possible. I have a statement that I make today. Aging is not a disease. We should not be treating people just because they're aging. Every time they say this hurt, we're like, well, that's old age. Every time they complain about something, we said, well, that's old age. That's not old age. There are certain things that we need to do for older adults to keep them independently as long as possible.
Okay. Let me test you here. Okay.
Go ahead.
Because you making me think, daggone, I should have called you. I can't believe I didn't call you.
I think you should have called her, and I just got
believe I
here.
didn't call you.
I just met her.
Because they had my mama do some tests that I'm telling you right now, an 84-year-old woman did not need to be taking no tests. And these were evasive tests. If I'd have had you, you could have made me feel comfortable. Yes, Joe, let's do them. Or no, I don't think we need to do them. That's a big deal to have somebody be able to do that.
Well, the basic things that I focus on that we don't, is the basic lifestyle. Joe, all the things that our doctors tell us every day to do, your lifestyle, they become very important as an older adult, as our older adults age. The basic things. We tell our older adults to move all the time because they like to sit. Why are they sitting? They're sitting because they're hurting. What's causing them to hurt? Inflammation in their bodies. What is causing the inflammation? The way they eat, the way they don't get enough sleep, or the way they dehydrated.
Right.
So if we take care of those are basic things that we need to be able to do. Now, they're not going to do it because they've always lived this way. That's why they need someone
And that
like
recliner
us.
is darn comfortable.
I'm sorry?
I said the recliner is comfortable.
Well, the recliner is comfortable because who wants to move when you're hurting?
Right.
So you have to be able to relieve the pain for the person, decrease their inflammation, change their way they eat, change the different things. Well, they're not going to do it. They've lived this way forever.
Right.
So you need someone who's going to come in as a coach, someone who's going to come on their alongside, who's going to help them, not just change your clothes, change your this, change your that, but focus on those basic things to keep them independent as long as possible.
Right. See, I should have
So
called her
good.
a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mama's sick. I call you. Walk me through how you come up with that plan, right? Because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what Mom really needs, right? So how does that work?
There are two ways you should call me. It goes.
You're gonna say a year and a half ago I should have called you, but okay.
Definitely. But there are two ways. Normally, people think, "Oh, I need this." If somebody gets sick and they go to a hospital, most older adult goes to the hospital. I'm gonna tell you this: statistics shows 85% of an older adult who get admitted to the hospital, they never get back to the original state that they were. Why does that happen? The minute they get to the hospital, we put them in a hospital bed and we put up the side rails. They cannot go anywhere unless they call somebody for help. Well, the longer they stay in the hospital, the weaker they get. The same person that was home moving around, you go to the hospital the next day, they can't get up. They need someone to help them because they've been laying down. Number one. Number two.
Or those pills make my mama go crazy.
Or the medication.
Yeah.
Or just the environment of the hospital. People get in their mind, all of a sudden they change. They start having sundown just because they're in a different environment.
Right.
That's weird. So that's one thing. And then they move them to a rehab, the same thing. So by the time they get back home, you're not expecting the same person who went out is not the same person who come back. This person is weaker. They are mentally, cognitively, they less functioning.
And you tell me if this is true, but I sense it. She has allowed the hospital and the recovery therapy people to do more and more for her. And so now she's expected to do less in her own eyes.
Yeah. So someone like you would call me then when somebody's coming home. You only think of me because You need somebody to help her with the activity of daily living.
Right.
But you really need someone else, what I call restorative, to be able to, if you really understood what was just happened to her because she had pneumonia, because she had whatever it was, that urinary tract infection, whatever that brought her to the hospital, she needs to be restored at every level. She needs to be restored. Hydration, very big on older adults. The nutrition, the stuff that she's eating, we got to look at that. Her sleeping pattern, her movement.
Why did so much of that change? I remember in the hospital, I couldn't get my mom to take a drink of water. Why is that? Like it was like, Mom, the doc says you got to drink. Here's a cup here, drink it. I don't want any.
Yeah.
Why
Older
is
adults
that?
don't drink. They now in the hospital, it all depends, because if they're getting IV fluids, right, they're getting IV fluids, they're getting hydrated. Right, but when they get out, they're not getting hydrated. So most older adults are dehydrated, and dehydration is huge for older adults. If we're not hydrating them, we have to figure out how to hydrate them.
That alone is worth this interview right there, to let people know that, to make sure that the elderly are drinking. I did not know that was important.
So even if they don't want to drink, now the kind of food that we give them can also help them to be hydrated, right? Like simple things like cucumbers, full of
watermelon this time.
Watermelon, things like that.
So you telling me I brought my mom a Burger King chicken sandwich was a bad idea? I was trying to be helpful. That's a bad idea.
Yeah. Every time I go to an older adult, their food, and it's not something you can change overnight. It's going to take time. They've been eating like this for 80 years.
Right.
But that's what most chronic disease older adults have. We hear it all the time. It's reversible. Why is it reversible? Because it's because we could do something about it. It's basic lifestyle. Diabetes, high cholesterol, hypertension. These are all things that older adults live with. They have the triplet pills that they take for these things. And so they're all reversible. How are we going to reverse them? Lifestyle.
So one of the things I see a lot in this sheet that you gave me is Parkinson. It seems as though you're sort of an expert in this area. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure, I can. So one of the, so there are lots of chronic diseases, but the ones that I see a lot that people are suffering with and living with and robbing them of their independence, it's Parkinson's, Alzheimer's dementia, and MS. And people who are living with these chronic diseases, their biggest fear is losing independence.
Right.
And so a lot of people were diagnosed with these, they're pretty young. They're young enough. They're like in their 70s. And so...
And they don't want to tell nobody because they know what's happening.
But
they're going to lock them up in a minimum security retirement community.
But for Parkinson, there is no cure. So it's medication. So medication can take care of some of the symptoms. But there are a lot of invisible symptoms that are not managed by pills only.
So we don't have any more time. Gentle Shepherd Care, Emma Soy. Emma, how can they reach you?
Reach me 704-209-5040 or go to my website is www.gentleshepherdcare.com.
gentleshepherdcare.com. Emma is exceptional.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone.